All right, so hello everyone. So welcome to the first talk. Today I just have the privilege to talk with Aneta Andrle, which is the high school teacher who is teaching business management. So I'm really glad that Aneta accepted my invitation, because I've known Aneta for over 10 years, since we were still at uni. And so today we will just spend about 10-15 minutes talking about the Czech education system, which we both experience, but I haven't been in the system for many years. So I would like to ask probably the first question about the total length of the system, because probably we know that in the US it's popular that children go through K-12. But can you just give us a glimpse of the total?
Right. So in Czech Republic, we also start our compulsory education in the last year of kindergarten. And then children go to primary school, which is for 5 years. Then the lower level of secondary schools, which is grade 6 to 9. So altogether, this stage is 5 plus 4 makes 9 years of education, which is like sort of like this first step. And then children, or at that moment, they're already teenagers there, continuing up to for another four years to some high schools that can be either vocational or general high schools. And altogether, that's basically 14 years of education.
Wow. So 14 years, you're counting even the kindergarten, right?
Yes.
All right. So you count 1 year of kindergarten.
Yes.
So 14 years, that's actually 1 year more than in the US if we compare it with the US system. So like, do you know what is the benefit of that extra year? Like
right. So before we had only 13 compulsory years, so it was not compulsory to go to the kindergarten, but it was found that there was a very big difference between children who have gone to kindergarten before and who were just leaving school, their homes and going to school for the first time. So why the ministry has changed this, I believe since I think 2008, if I'm not mistaken, they have done that because they found that children are going to get or learn the skills of paying attention, learning, sort of the rules of the school, and therefore the transition to a regular school is going to be much easier for them.
Great. I also know that in the Czech Republic, during or after grade 5 or grade 7 or grade 9, students have many options that they can choose from. I actually myself, I didn't even know about the exam after the grade 5 for some kind of, let's say, how can we name it, like more gifted students to go to harder schools. And then at the age of 15, when the students are in grade 9, which is actually similar in other systems in the world, students can choose to go either to vocational schools or the general path. But so I have like one question regarding the options. So like, do students know at this young age what to choose?
Yeah, so as you said, in grade 5, grade 7, and then grade 9, they have the option to apply for a so-called gymnasium, which is also very common, for example, in Germany, gymnasium. And it's a classical school which prepares for universities. And basically it offers, of course, the general education that the students would be getting in regular schools, but also it kind of builds on top of that and gives them something extra. And the idea is that the students who go to these gymnasiums are going to be well prepared for university. So it's already for those gifted, as you said, gifted students who already in grade 5 know that they want to pursue
university
education in the future.
All right, at the age of 11, already knowing that one day.
Yes, I mean, even at the age of 11, you can be ambitious, and I think it's also about maybe finding out whether you are a study type, whether you like to study, whether you like learning or not.
Great. So you are currently teaching in a high school, so you have the direct, let's say, personal connection with how it works. Can you just tell me from your own opinion, how are you satisfied with the current setting, and what would you change if you had the power to change?
Well, before I had an experience of working at a vocational high school, which was focused on teaching students like business management, economic skills. And right now I'm working in a gymnasium, which is basically for those gifted students who, some of them have attended the gymnasium since grade 6, some of them since grade 8 or 10. But I can already see the difference in my current employment, that the students who are in the gymnasium are much more let's say, devoted or active in their learning. So it's much easier for me to teach, of course, students who want to be taught, who follow the rules, who are interested in the information that I teach them. So I personally like to teach in a gymnasium. And what was your other question? What would I change? Well, I would, in general, or in my current workplace?
Probably in general.
Okay, so in general, the Czech educational system is kind of too traditional, or maybe not innovative enough. There have been some attempts by the Ministry of Education to push a formative assessment, to make schools actually do that more, but they were let's say, I think that there were good attempts, but didn't really probably result in what they wanted to achieve. And it's still, the quality of the schools still depend a lot on the headmasters. So whether the management of the schools is innovative, whether they're pushing teachers to go to trainings, to get better, to provide new interactive ways of learning for their students or not. And there is no sort of incentive coming from above to really make that change, the improvement across the whole educational system. So that's one thing I would change, and I believe it's very much goes hand in hand with maybe the status of teachers in the Czech Republic. So compared to maybe other European countries, to be a teacher is not that, let's say, cool or prestigious, and also teachers are not. They don't receive good pays, good salaries. So that's also one of the maybe topics very often discussed by the government, whether that would be something that would also perhaps increase the prestige or the level of the Czech educational system.
Great, thank you. Let's talk a little bit more about your role in the teaching or in the education world. So you're teaching business management to high school students, but basically you said you're teaching it in a gymnasium, which is the general school. So how much do they like to learn business management? And is it compulsory for everyone in the class, or just someone who wants to follow the business path later on?
Right. So actually, this is the last 2 years. Our school offers to participate in an International Baccalaureate program. It's an basically 2-year program. It's international, where they can choose 6 subjects from which they're going to do their final exams. And 3 of those subjects they're doing on a higher level, so they study in more depth. 3 of those subjects they're doing on standard level. So just to give you an idea, higher level students studying business get 5 hours of business management per week in our school, whereas standard level students get 3. It's not compulsory to have business management, but in IB it works that you have 6 different sort of groups from which you choose your subject. You have to have 1 maths, you have to have 1 language, literature, then 1 second language, 1 science, 1 subject from the humanities, and you have the option of choosing 1 subject from the arts group, or if you're not an artsy type, you can choose any one of those other groups. So who I'm competing with, just to sum it up, I'm actually competing with my history colleagues. So a lot of the times students choose business management because, for example, they don't like history.
So you just compete with the history teachers?
Well, in our school, we for humanities, we offer history, but of course in this humanities group, we can have geography, you can have economics, you can have psychology, but it's just also that our school does not offer these subjects. So that's why business management competes with history. But it is true that a lot of the times students choose both history and business management.
Wow, great. Probably the last question for today's talk is, what are the challenges that you face in the everyday teaching? Do students listen to you, or probably they are teenagers, so they think about different aspects of life. So what are the everyday challenges that you have to face?
Well, of course, getting their attention, helping them focus, getting them to work on the assignment that they have been given, and not either talk to their friends or be on their phones. I think that would be the biggest challenge. Of course, for me, I'm still finding out my balance between being strict and being friendly. Of course, being friendly, you get to create some nice relationship with them. They like you, they like business management, and then they perhaps score better. On the other hand, if you're not strict, they're not going to do anything in your lesson. So I'm still sort of finding what is my balance. And this year I'm actually teaching a new group of students for the IB. So I have made some changes already, and I think so far it's going well.
So you are becoming firm but fair, right?
Exactly.
All right, great. So thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me, David.
I'll see you one day again.
Okay.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.